Chapter 8. As soon as I'm out of the room, I dash upstairs along the corridor and into my bedroom to check my mobile. But it's only half charged and I have no idea where I'm going to find a signal. If Trish could get one, I must be able to. I wonder what network she's on. Samantha? Trish's voice rises from the ground floor. Samantha! She sounds annoyed. Now I can hear her footsteps coming up the stairs. Madam, I hurry back along the corridor. There you are. She frowns slightly. Kindly do not disappear to your room while on duty. I don't want to have to be calling you like that. Yes, Mrs. Geiger, I say. As we arrive down in the hall, my stomach flips over. Beyond Trish, I can see the Times lying on the table. It's open at the business pages, and a headline reads, Glazer Brooks calls in receivers. My eyes run down the text as Trish starts rootling around in a huge white Chanel bag. But I can't see any mention of Carter Spink. Thank goodness for that. The PR department must have managed to keep a lid on the story. Where are my keys? Trish sounds fretful. Where are they? She rummages more and more violently in her Chanel bag. A gold lipstick goes flying through the air and lands at my feet. Why do you think it's up here? I pick up the lipstick and hand it to her. Do you remember where you lost them, Mrs. Geiger? I didn't lose them, she inhales sharply. They've been stolen. It's obvious. We'll have to change all the locks. Our identities will be taken. She clutches her head. This is what these fraudsters do, you know. There was a huge article about it in the mail. Is this them? I've suddenly noticed a Tiffany key fob glinting on the windowsill. I pick it up and hold out the bunch of keys. Yes. Trish looks utterly amazed. Yes, that's them. Samantha, you're marvelous. How did you find them? It was no trouble, I shrug modestly. Well, I'm very impressed. She gives me a significant look. I will be telling Mr. Geiger. Yes, madam, I say, trying to inject the right note of overwhelming gratitude into my voice. Thank you. Mr. Geiger and I will be going out in a minute, she continues, producing a scent spray and spritzing herself. Kindly prepare a light sandwich lunch for 1 o'clock and get on with the downstairs cleaning. We will talk about dinner later. She swivels round. I might tell you we were both very impressed by your seared foie gras menu. Oh, good. It's fine, I'll be gone by dinner time. Now, Trish pats her hair one final time. Come in the drawing room, Samantha. I follow her into the room and over to the fireplace. Before you start dusting in here, Trish says, I wanted to show you the arrangements of the ornaments. She gestures to a row of china figurines on the mantelpiece. This can be tricky to remember. For some reason, cleaners never get it right, so kindly pay attention. Obediently, I turn with her to face the mantelpiece. It's very important, Samantha, that these china dogs face each other. Trish points to a pair of King Charles Spaniels. Do you see? They don't face out, they face each other. Each other, I echo, nodding. Yes, I see. And the shepherdesses face very slightly out. You see? They face out. She's speaking slowly and clearly, as though I have the IQ of a rather thick 3-year-old. Out, I repeat dutifully. Now, have you got that? Trish steps back from the fireplace. Let's see. Which way do the china dogs go? She lifts an arm to block my view of the mantelpiece. I don't believe it. She's testing me. The china dogs, she prompts. Which way? Oh, gosh, I cannot resist this. I ponder hard for a few moments. They face out? Each other! Trish cries in exasperation. They face each other! Oh, right, I say apologetically. Yes, sorry. I've got that now. Trish has closed her eyes and is holding 2 fingers to her forehead as though the stress of stupid help is too much to bear. Never mind, she says at last. We'll try again tomorrow. I'll take the coffee tray out, I suggest humbly. As I pick it up, I glance again at my watch, 10:12. I wonder if they've started the meeting. By 11:30, my nerves are really beginning to fray. My mobile's charged and I've finally found a signal in the kitchen, but it hasn't rung. And there are no messages. I've checked it every minute. I've stacked the dishwasher and at last managed to turn it on. And I've dusted the china dogs with a tissue. Other than that, all I've done is pace up and down the kitchen. I gave up on the light sandwich lunch almost straight away. At least I briefly tried sawing away at 2 loaves of bread and ended up with huge wonky slices, each one more misshapen than the last, lying in a sea of crumbs. All I can say is thank goodness for Yellow Pages and Caterers and American Express. It's only going to cost me £45, 50 pence to provide Trish and Eddie with a quote-unquote gourmet sandwich lunch from Cotswold Caterers. Less than 6 minutes of my time at Carter Spink. Now I'm just sitting on a chair, my hand clasped tight over the mobile in my pocket, desperately willing it to ring. At the same time, utterly terrified that it will. This tension is unbearable. I need something to relieve it. Anything. I wrench open the door of the geyser's enormous fridge and pull out a bottle of white wine. I pour myself a glass and take an enormous gulp. I'm about to take another when I feel a tingling on the nape of my neck, as if I'm being watched. I swivel around and nearly jump out of my skin. There's a man at the kitchen door. He's tall and broad and deeply tanned with intense blue eyes. His wavy hair is golden brown with bleach blonde tips. He's wearing old jeans and a torn t-shirt and the muddiest boots I've ever seen. His eyes run doubtfully over the 10 wonky, crumbly red slices on the side, then onto my glass of wine. "Hi," he says at last. "Are you the new cordon bleu cook?" Yes, absolutely." I smooth my uniform down. "I'm the new housekeeper, Samantha. Hello." "I'm Nathaniel." He holds out his hand, and after a pause, I take it. His skin is so hard and rough, it's like shaking a piece of tree bark. "I do the garden for the geyser. She'll be wanting to talk to me about vegetables." I look at him uncertainly. Why would I want to talk to him about vegetables? As he leans against the doorframe and folds his arms, I can't help noticing how massive and strong his forearms are. I've never seen a man with arms like that before. "I can supply pretty much anything," he continues. "Seasonal, of course. Just tell me what you want." "Oh, for cooking," I say, suddenly realizing what he means. Yes. I'll be wanting some of those, definitely." "They told me you trained with some Michelin-starred chef?" He gives a small frown. "I don't know what kind of fancy stuff you use, but I'll do my best." He produces a small, mud-stained notebook and a pencil. "Which brassicas do you like to use?" "Brassicas? What are brassicas?" "They must be some kind of vegetable." I search my mind frantically, but all I can see is images of brassiers waving on a washing line. "I'd have to consult my menus," I say at last with a business-like nod. "I'll get back to you on that one." "But just generally," he looks up, "which do you use most, so I know what to plant?" I daren't risk naming a single vegetable in case I get it totally wrong. "I use all sorts, really." I give him an airy smile. "You know how it is with brassicas. Sometimes you're in the mood for one, sometimes another." I'm really not sure how convincing that sounded. Nathaniel looks baffled. "I'm about to order leeks," he says slowly. "What variety do you prefer? Albenstar or Bleu de Solis?" I fiddle with a button on my uniform, my face prickling. I didn't catch either of those. Oh gosh, why did this guy have to come into the kitchen right now? "The, first one," I say at last. "It has very tasty qualities." Nathaniel puts down his notebook and surveys me for a moment. His attention shifts to my wine glass again. I'm not sure I like his expression. "I was just about to put this wine in a sauce," I say hastily. With a nonchalant air, I take a saucepan down from the rack, put it on the hob, and pour the wine in. I shake in some salt, then pick up a wooden spoon and stir. Then I dart a glance at Nathaniel. He's regarding me with something approaching incredulity. "Where did you say you trained?" he says. I feel a twinge of alarm. He's not stupid, this man. At Cordon Bleu School. My cheeks are growing rather hot. I shake more salt into the wine and stir it briskly. "You haven't turned the hob on," Nathaniel observes. "It's a cold sauce," I reply without lifting my head. I keep stirring for a minute, then put down my wooden spoon. "So I'll just leave that to marinate now." At last I look up. Nathaniel is still leaning against the door frame, calmly watching me. There's an expression in his blue eyes that makes my throat tighten. He knows I'm a fake. "Please don't tell the geishers," I silently transmit to him. "Please, I'll be gone soon." "Samantha." Trisha's head pops round the door and I start nervously. "Oh, you've met Nathaniel. Did he tell you about his vegetable garden?" "Yes." I can't look at him. "He did." "Marvelous." She pushes her sunglasses up onto her head. "Well, Mr. Geiger and I are back now. We'd like our sandwiches in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? But it's only 12:10. The caterers aren't coming till 1 o'clock. "Would you like a drink first, maybe?" I suggest. "No, thanks," she says, "just the sandwiches. We're both rather famished, actually, so if you could hurry up with them." "Right," I swallow. "No problem." I automatically bob a curtsy as Trish disappears, and I hear a kind of snorting sound from Nathaniel. "You curtsy," he says. "Yes, I curtsy," I say defiantly. "Anything wrong with that?" Nathaniel's eyes move to the misshapen bread slices lying on the breadboard. "Is that lunch?" "No, that's not lunch," I snap, flustered. "And please could you get out of my kitchen? I need a clear space to work in." He raises his eyebrows. "See you around then. Good luck with the sauce." He nods toward the pan of wine. As he closes the kitchen door behind him, I whip out my phone and speed dial the caterers, but they've left their machine on. "Hi," I say breathlessly after the bleep. "I ordered some sandwiches earlier. Well, I need them now, as soon as you can, thanks." Even as I put the phone down, I realize it's fruitless. The caterers are never going to turn up in time. The geishers are waiting. Okay, I can do this. I can make a few sandwiches. Quickly, I pick up the two least wonky of my bread slices and start cutting off the crusts until they're about an inch square, but presentable. There's a butter dish on the side, and I gouge some out with a knife. As I spread butter on the first slice of bread, it tears into 2 pieces. Fuck. I'll patch them together. No one will notice. I fling open a cupboard door and frantically root through pots of mustard, mint sauce, strawberry jam. Jam sandwiches it is, an English classic. I hastily smother 1 piece of bread with jam, spread some more butter on the other, and sandwich the 2 together. Then I stand back and consider the result. Total disaster. Jam is oozing out of the cracks, and it still isn't completely square. I've never seen a more revolting sandwich in my life. Slowly, I put the knife down in defeat. So this is it. Time for my resignation. 2 jobs potentially lost in 1 day. As I stare at the jammy mess, I feel strangely disappointed in myself. I would have thought I could last a morning. The sound of someone knocking breaks me out of my reverie, and I whip round to see a girl in a blue velvet hairband peering through the kitchen window. "Hi," she calls. "Did you order sandwiches for 20? It all happened so fast. 1 minute I'm standing there looking at my batch of jam and crumbs. The next, 2 girls in green aprons are trooping into the kitchen with plate after plate of professionally made sandwiches. Clean-cut white and brown sandwiches stacked in neat pyramids, garnished with sprigs of herbs and slices of lemon. They even have little handwritten paper flags describing the fillings. Tuna, mint and cucumber, smoked salmon, cream cheese and caviar, Thai chicken with wild rocket. I'm so sorry about the numbers mix-up, the girl in the hairband says as I sign for them. It honestly looked like a 20, and we don't often get an order for sandwiches for just 2 people. It's fine, I say, edging her toward the door. Really? Whatever, just put it on my card. The door finally closes and I look around the kitchen totally dazed. I've never seen so many sandwiches. There are plates of them everywhere, on every surface. I've even had to put some on the cooker. Samantha, I can hear Trish approaching. Hold on. I hurry to the door, trying to block her view. It's already 1:05. I can hear her saying a little sharply, and I did ask most clearly, for her voice trails off into silence as she reaches the kitchen door, and her whole face sags in astonishment. I turn and follow her gaze as she surveys the endless plates of sandwiches. My goodness. At last Trish finds her voice. This is very impressive. I wasn't sure what fillings you'd prefer, I say. Obviously, next time I won't make quite so many. Well, Trish appears totally at a loss. She picks up one of the little flags and reads it out loud. Rare beef, lettuce, and horseradish. She looks up in astonishment. I haven't bought any beef for weeks. Where did you find it? In the freezer. I looked in the freezer earlier. The amount of food crammed into it would probably feed an entire small African country for a week. Of course. Trish clicks her tongue. And you thawed it in the microwave. Aren't you clever? I'll put a selection on a plate for you, I suggest, and bring it out to the conservatory. Marvelous. Nathaniel, Trish raps on the kitchen window. Come in and have a sandwich. I stop dead. No, not him again. We don't want to waste them after all. She arches her eyebrows. If I did have a criticism, Samantha, it would be that you were a little profligate. Not that we're poor, she adds suddenly. It isn't that. No, madam. I don't like to talk about money, Samantha. Trish lowers her voice a little. It's very vulgar. However, Mrs. Geiger, Nathaniel has appeared in the kitchen doorway again, holding a muddy garden spade. Have one of Samantha's delicious sandwiches, exclaims Trish, gesturing around the kitchen. Just look, isn't she clever? There's total silence as Nathaniel surveys the endless mounds of sandwiches. I can't bring myself to meet his eye. I feel I could be losing my grip on sanity here. I'm standing in a kitchen in the middle of nowhere in a blue nylon uniform, masquerading as a housekeeper who can magically make sandwiches out of thin air. Extraordinary, he says at last. I finally risk looking up. He's gazing at me, his brow deeply furrowed, as if he really can't make me out. That didn't take you long, he says, a slight question in his voice. I'm pretty quick when I want to be, I say blandly. Samantha's wonderful, says Trish, biting greedily into a sandwich. And such a tidy worker. Look at this immaculate kitchen. She shoves another sandwich in her mouth and practically swoons. This Thai chicken is divine. Surreptitiously, I pick up one from the pile and take a bite into it, feeling suddenly ravenous. Bloody hell, that's good, though I say it myself. By 2:30, the kitchen is empty. Trish and Eddie devoured over half the sandwiches and have now gone out. Nathaniel's back in the garden. I'm pacing up and down, fiddling with a spoon. Arnold will call soon. The meeting must have broken up by now. I look out the window at a small brown bird pecking at the ground, then turn away and sink into a chair, staring down at the table, running my thumbnail obsessively around the fine grain of the polished wood. I made one mistake. One. People are allowed to make one mistake in life. It's in the rules. Or maybe it's not. I just don't know. Suddenly, I feel my mobile vibrate. I grab the phone out of my uniform pocket with a trembling hand. The caller ID tells me it's Guy. Hi, Guy. I try to speak confidently, but my voice sounds tiny and scared to my own ears. Samantha, is that you? Guy's voice rushes through the phone in an urgent torrent. Where the hell are you? Why aren't you here? Didn't you get my emails? I haven't got my BlackBerry, I say, taken aback. Why didn't you call? I tried early today, but your phone seemed out of order. Then I was in meetings, but I've been sending you emails all morning. Samantha, where on earth are you? You should be here at the office, not hiding out, for Christ's sake. Hiding out? What does he mean? But Arnold said don't come in. He said it would be best. He told me to stay away, and he would do what he could. Do you have any idea how this looks? Guy cuts across me. First, you freak out, then you disappear. People are saying you're unhinged. You've had a breakdown. There's a rumor you've skipped the country. As the truth hits me, I feel a hot, choking panic. I can't believe how wrong I've played this. I can't believe how stupid I've been. What am I doing, still sitting in this kitchen, miles from London? Tell them I'm coming straight in, I stammer. Tell Ketterman I'll be there at once. I'm getting on a train. It might be too late. Guy sounds heavy and reluctant. Samantha, all sorts of stories are going round. Stories? My heart is thudding so hard I can barely say the word. What stories? I can't take all this in. I feel like my car has suddenly lurched off the road and I can't stop it. Apparently people have said you're unreliable. Guy says at last that this isn't the first time that you've made errors before. Errors? I leap to my feet, my voice as sharp as though I've been scalded. Who's saying that? I've never made any errors. What are they talking about? I don't know. I wasn't in the meeting. Samantha, think back carefully. Have you made any other mistakes? Think back carefully? I'm stunned. He doesn't believe me. I've never made any mistakes, I say, trying and failing to keep my voice level. None. Never. I'm a good lawyer. I'm a good lawyer. To my dismay, I realize tears are pouring down my cheeks. I'm steady. You know that, Guy. In the tense little silence that follows, the unsaid is there between us, like a conviction. I lost a client 50 million pounds. Guy, I don't know how I didn't see the Glazer Brooks documentation. My words tumble out faster and faster. I don't know how it happened. It doesn't make any sense. I know my desk is messy, but I have my systems, for gosh sakes. I don't miss things like that. I just don't. Samantha, calm down. How can I calm down? I almost yell. This is my life, my life. I don't have anything else. I wipe the tears away from my cheeks. I'm not losing this. I'm coming in now. I cut the phone dead and get to my feet, bubbling with panic. I should have gone back. I should have gone back straight away and not wasted time here. I don't know what times the trains will be, but I don't care. I have to get out of here. I grab a piece of paper and a pencil and scrawl, Dear Mrs. Geiger, I am afraid I must resign as your housekeeper. Well, I have enjoyed my time. Come on, I haven't got time to write anymore. I have to leave now. I put the paper down on the table and head for the door. Then I stop. I can't leave the letter unfinished in the middle of a sentence. Well, I have enjoyed my time with you. I feel I would like a fresh challenge. Many thanks for your kindness. Yours sincerely, Samantha Sweeting. I put the pen down and push my chair back with a scrape. As I reach the door, my mobile vibrates again. Guy, I instantly think. I reach for it, and I'm already flipping it open when I see the caller ID. It's not Guy, it's Ketterman. Something cold grips my spine. As I stare at his name, I feel real fear in a way I never have before. Childish, nightmarish fear. Every instinct in my body is telling me not to answer. But my phone's already open, it's too late. Slowly I lift it up to my ear. Hello? Samantha, John Ketterman here? Right, my voice is scratchy with nerves. Hello. There's a long pause. I know this is my moment to speak, but my throat feels wadded by cotton wool. No words seem adequate. Everyone knows how much Ketterman despises apologies and excuses and explanations. Samantha, I'm ringing to tell you that your contract with Carter Spink has been terminated. I feel all the blood drain from my face. A letter is on its way to you giving the reasons. His tone is distant and formal. Gross negligence compounded by your subsequent unprofessional behavior. Your P-45 will be sent to you. Your pass has been disabled. I don't expect to see you at the Carter Spink offices again. He's going too fast. This is all happening too fast. Please don't, I blurted out. Please give me another chance. I made one mistake. One. Lawyers at Carter Spink don't make mistakes, Samantha, nor do they run away from their mistakes. I know it was wrong to run away. I'm shaking all over, but it was such a shock. I wasn't thinking straight. You've disgraced the reputation of the firm and yourself. Ketterman's voice sharpens as though he too might be finding this difficult. You have lost 50 million pounds of a client's money through your own negligence, and subsequently absconded with no explanation. Samantha, you cannot have expected any other outcome, surely. There's a long silence. My forehead is pressed hard against the heel of my hand. I try to focus on just breathing, in and out, in and out. No, I whisper at last. It's over. My entire career is really over. Ketterman starts on a pre-prepared speech about meeting with the Human Resources Department, but I don't listen. Everything I've worked for since I was 12 years old, gone. Everything ruined in 24 hours. At last, I realize Ketterman has disappeared from the line. I get to my feet and stagger over to the shiny fridge. My eyes are huge, burning holes. For a long time, I just stand there, staring at my own face until the features blur. I've been fired. The phrase echoes around my mind. I've been fired. I could collect the dole. I imagine myself with the men from the Full Monty, standing in the unemployment queue, moving my hips back and forth to hot stuff. Suddenly, I hear the sound of a key in the front door. I can't be found in this condition. I can't face any probing, any sympathy. Otherwise, I'm afraid I might just collapse into sobs and never stop. Distractedly, I reach for a cloth and start sweeping it in meaningless circles over the table. Then I glimpse my note to Trish still lying there. I crumple it up and throw it in the bin. Later, I'll do it later. I feel as though I can barely function right now, let alone give a convincing resignation speech. There you are. Trish comes tripping into the kitchen on her high-heeled clogs, holding 3 bursting shopping bags. Samantha, she stops at the sight of me. Are you all right? Is your headache back? I'm fine, thanks. You look dreadful. Goodness me, have some more pills. Really? Now sit down and I'll make you a cup of tea. She plonks the bags down and switches on the kettle, then rootles around for the green painkillers. These are the ones you like, aren't they? I'd rather just have an aspirin, I say quickly, if that's okay. Pause and pause. Now you just sit there, relax, don't even think of doing anything else. Until it's time to make the supper, she adds as an afterthought. You're very kind, I manage. As I say the words, I have the dim realization that I mean them. Trish's kindness may be a bit warped, but it's real. Here we are. Trish puts a cup of tea down and scrutinizes me. Are you homesick? She sounds triumphant, as though she may have cracked the mystery. Our girl from the Philippines did get rather blue from time to time, but I used to say to her, cheer up, Manuela. Trish pauses thoughtfully, then I found out her name was Paula. Extraordinary. I'm not homesick, I say, gulping my tea. My mind is beating like a butterfly's wings. What am I going to do? Go home. But the thought of returning to that flat, with Ketterman living 2 floors above, makes me sick. I can't face him. I can't do it. Phone Guy. He'll have me to stay. He and Charlotte have that huge home in Islington with all those spare rooms. I've stayed the night before. Then I'll sell my flat. Find a job. What job? This will cheer you up. Trisha's voice breaks my thoughts. She pats the shopping bags with suppressed glee. After your stunning performance at lunch, I've been shopping, and I've got a surprise for you. This will make your day. A surprise? I look up, bewildered, as Trish starts producing packets from the bag. Foie gras, chickpeas, shoulder of lamb. She hefts a joint of meat onto the table and looks at me expectantly. Then she clicks her tongue at my bewildered expression. It's ingredients. Your dinner party menu. We'll eat at 8 if that's okay. Chapter 9. It'll be alright. If I say it often enough to myself, it must be true. I've opened my phone several times to call Guy, but each time humiliation has stopped me. Even though he's my friend, even though he's the person closest to me in the company. I'm the one who's fired, I'm the one in disgrace, and he's not. At last I sit up and rub my cheeks, trying to get my spirits back. Come on, this is Guy. He'll want to hear from me. He'll want to help. I flip open my phone and dial his direct line. A moment later, I hear footsteps clopping along the wooden floor of the hall. Trish. I shut the phone, pocket it, and reach for a clump of broccoli. How are you getting on? Trish's voice greets me. Making progress? As she enters the kitchen, she looks a little surprised to see me still sitting in the exact same spot she left me. Everything all right? I'm just assessing the ingredients. I improvise, getting the feel of them. Just then, a thin, red-haired woman appears around the door next to Trish. She's wearing diamante sunglasses on her head and regards me with an avid interest. I'm Petula, she announces. How do you do? Petula's just eaten some of your sandwiches, puts in Trish. She thought they were marvelous. And I've heard about the foie gras with an apricot glaze. Petula raises her eyebrows. Very impressive. Samantha can cook anything, boasts Trish, pink with pride. She trained with Michael de la Rue de la Blanc, the master himself. So how exactly will you be glazing the foie gras, Samantha? asked Petula with interest. The kitchen is silent. Both women are waiting, agog. Well, I cleared my throat several times. I expect I'll use the usual method. The word glaze, obviously, comes from the transparent nature of the finish and complements the gras. Foie, I meant, de gras. The blend of the flavors. I'm making absolutely no sense here, but neither Trish nor Petula seems to have noticed. In fact, they both seem totally impressed. Where on earth did you find her? Says Petula to Trish, in what she clearly imagines to be a discreet undertone. My girl is hopeless. Can't cook and doesn't understand a word I say. She just applied out of the blue. Trish murmurs back, still flushed with pleasure. Cordon bleu, English, we couldn't believe it. They both eye me as though I'm some rare animal with horns sprouting out of my head. I can't bear this anymore. Shall I make you some tea and bring it through to the conservatory? I ask. Anything to get them out of the kitchen. No, we're popping out to have our nails done, says Trish. I'll see you later, Samantha. There's an expectant pause. Suddenly I realize Trish is waiting for my curtsy. I start to prickle all over in embarrassment. Why did I curtsy? Why did I curtsy? Very good, Mrs. Geyser. I bow my head and make an awkward bob. When I look up, Petula's eyes are like saucers. As the two women leave, I can hear Petula hissing, She curtsies. She curtsies to you. It's a simple mark of respect, I hear Trish replying airily, but very effective. You know, Petula, you should really try it with your girl. Oh gosh, what have I started? I wait until the sound of tapping heels has completely disappeared. Then, moving into the larder to be on the safe side, I flip open my phone and redial Guy's number. After 3 rings, he answers. Samantha. He sounds guarded. Hi, have you... It's okay, Guy. I've spoken to Ketterman, I know. Oh, Christ, Samantha. I'm so sorry this has happened. So sorry. I cannot stand his pity. If he says anything else, I'll burst into tears. It's fine, I say, cutting him off. Really, let's not talk about it. Let's just look forward. I have to get my life on track. Jesus, you're focused. There's a note of admiration in his voice. You don't let anything faze you, do you? I push my hair back off my face. I just have to get on with things. Somehow I keep my voice even and steady. I need to get back to London, but I can't go home. Ketterman bought a flat in my building. He lives there. Ouch. Yes, I heard about that. There's a wince in his voice. That's unfortunate. I just can't face him, Guy. I feel the threat of tears again and force myself to hold them back. So, I was wondering, could I come and stay with you for a while? Just for a few days? There's silence. I wasn't expecting silence. Samantha, I'd love to help, says Guy at last. But I'll have to check with Charlotte. Of course, I say, a little taken aback. Just stay on the line for a sec. I'll call her. The next moment, I've been put on hold. I sit waiting, listening to the tinny harpsichord music, trying not to feel discomfited. It was unreasonable to expect him to say yes straight away. Of course he has to clear it with his girlfriend. At last, Guy comes onto the line again. Samantha, I'm not sure it's possible. I feel slammed. Right. I try to sound natural as though this is no big deal. Well, never mind. It doesn't matter. Charlotte's very busy right now. We're having some work done to the bedrooms. It's just not a good time. He sounds halting as if he wants to get off the line. And suddenly I realize this isn't about Charlotte. This is all about him. He doesn't want to be near me. It's as though my disgrace is contagious, as though his career might get blighted too. Yesterday I was his best friend. Yesterday, when I was about to become a partner, he was hanging around my desk, full of smiles and quips. And today he doesn't want to be associated with me at all. I know I should stay quiet, keep my dignity, but I just can't contain myself. You don't want to be associated with me, do you? I burst out. Samantha! His voice is defensive. Don't be ridiculous. I'm still the same person. I thought you were my friend. I am your friend, but you can't expect me to. I have Charlotte to consider. We don't have that much space. Look, call me in a couple of days. Maybe we can meet up for a drink. Really? Don't worry. I try to control my voice. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Wait, he exclaims. Don't go. What are you going to do? Oh, Guy, I manage a little laugh. I switch off my phone. Everything's changed. Or maybe he hasn't changed. Maybe this is what Guy was always like, and I just never realized it. I stare down at the tiny display of my phone, watching the seconds of each minute tick by, wondering what to do next. When it suddenly vibrates in my hand, I nearly jump out of my skin. Tennyson, my display reads, Mum. I feel a clutch of dread. She can only be ringing for one thing. She's heard the news. I guess I should have known this was coming. I could go and stay with her, it occurs to me. How weird. I didn't even think of that before. I open up the phone and steel myself. Hi, Mom. Samantha. Her voice pierces my ear with no preamble. Exactly how long were you going to wait before you told me about your debacle? I have to find out about my own daughter's disgrace from an internet joke? She utters the words with revulsion. An internet joke? I echo faintly. What do you mean? You didn't know? Apparently, in certain legal circles, the new term for £50 million is a Samantha. Take it from me, I was not amused. Mom, I'm so sorry. At least the story has been contained within the legal world. I've spoken to Carter Spink and they assure me that it won't be going further. You should be grateful for that. I suppose so. Where are you? She cuts across my faltering words. Where are you right now? I'm standing in the larder, surrounded by packets of cereal. I'm at someone's house, out of London. And what are your plans? I don't know. I rub my face. I need to get myself together, find a job. A job, she says scathingly. You think any top law firm is going to touch you now? I flinch at her tone. I don't know. Mom, I've only just heard about being fired. I can't just... You can. Thankfully, I have acted for you. She's acted for me? What do you... I've called in all my favors. It wasn't an easy job. But the senior partner at Fortescue's will see you tomorrow at 10. I'm almost too stupefied to reply. You've organized me a job interview? Assuming all goes well, you will enter at senior associate level. Her voice is crisp. You're being given this chance as a personal favor to me. As you can imagine, there are reservations. So, if you want to progress, Samantha, you are going to have to perform. You're going to have to give this job every hour you have. Right. I shut my eyes, my thoughts whirling. I have a job interview. A fresh start. It's the solution to my nightmare. Why don't I feel more relieved? You will have to give more than you did at Carter Spink, Mom continues in my ear. No slacking, no complacency. You will have to prove yourself doubly. Do you understand? Yes, I say automatically. More hours, more work, more late nights. It's almost as if I can feel the concrete blocks being loaded onto me again. More and more of them, heavier and heavier. I mean, no, I hear myself saying. No, it's too much. I don't want that now. I need some time. The words come out of my mouth all by themselves. I wasn't planning them. I've never even thought them before. But now that they're out in the air, they somehow feel true. I'm sorry? Mom's voice is sharp. Samantha, what on earth are you saying? I don't know. I'm kneading my forehead, trying to make sense of my own confusion. I was thinking I could take a break, maybe. A break would finish your legal career. Her voice snaps dismissively. Finish it. I could do something else. You wouldn't last more than 2 minutes in anything else. She sounds affronted. Samantha, you're a lawyer. You've been trained as a lawyer. There are other things in the world than being a lawyer, I cry, rattled. There's an ominous silence. I can't believe I'm standing up to her. I don't think I've ever challenged my mother in my life. I feel shaky as I grip the phone. But at the same time, I know I can't do what she wants. Samantha, if you're having some kind of breakdown like your brother... I'm not having a breakdown. My voice rises in distress. I never asked you to find me another job. I don't know what I want. I need a bit of time to think. You will be at that job interview, Samantha. Mom's voice is like a whip. You will be there tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I won't. Tell me where you are. I'm sending a car straight away. No, leave me alone. I switch off my phone, come out of the larder, and almost savagely throw it down onto the table. She's my mother, and she didn't express one word of sympathy, not one jot of kindness. My face is burning and tears are pressing hotly at the back of my eyes. The phone starts vibrating angrily on the table, but I ignore it. I'm not going to answer it. I'm not going to talk to anyone. I'm going to have a drink, and then I'm going to cook this bloody dinner. I slosh some white wine into a glass and take several gulps. Then I address myself to the pile of raw ingredients waiting on the table. I can cook. I can cook this stuff. Even if everything else in my life is in ruins, I can do this. I have a brain. I can work it out. Without delay, I rip the plastic coverings off the lamb. This can go in the oven in some kind of dish. Simple. And the chickpeas can go in there too. Then I'll mash them and that will make the hummus. I open a cupboard and pull out a whole load of gleaming baking dishes and trays. I select a baking tray and scatter the chickpeas onto it. Some bounce onto the floor, but I don't care. I grab a bottle of oil from the counter and drizzle it over the top. Already I'm feeling like a cook. I shove the tray into the oven and turn it on full blast. Then I put the lamb in an oval dish and shove that in too. So far, so good. Now all I need to do is leaf through all Trisha's recipe books and find instructions for seared foie gras with an apricot glaze. Okay, I didn't find a single recipe for seared foie gras with an apricot glaze. I found apricot and raspberry flan, turkey with chestnut and apricot stuffing, and almond pithivier with apricot filling and prosecco sabayon. I stare at the page blindly. I've just turned down what may be my only opportunity to start over. I'm a lawyer. That's what I am. What else am I going to do? What's happened to me? Oh gosh, why is smoke coming out of the oven? By 7 o'clock, I'm still cooking. At least I think that's what I'm doing. Both ovens are roaring with heat. Pots are bubbling on the hob. The electric whisk is whirring busily. I've burned my right hand twice, taking things out of the oven. 8 recipe books are open around the kitchen, one drenched with spilled oil, and another with egg yolk. I'm puce in the face, sweating hard, and trying every so often to run my hand under cold water. I've been going for 3 hours, and I haven't yet made anything that could actually be eaten. So far, I've discarded a collapsed chocolate souffle, 2 pans of burned onions, and a saucepan of congealed apricots that make me feel sick just to look at them. I can't work out what's going wrong. I haven't got time to work out what's going wrong. There's no scope for analysis. Every time there's a disaster, I just dump it and start again. Quickly thawing food from the freezer, changing tack, trying to gobble something together. The Geisers, meanwhile, are drinking sherry in the drawing room. They think everything is going splendidly. Trish tried to come into the kitchen about half an hour ago, but I managed to head her off. In less than an hour, she and Eddie are going to be sitting down at the table expecting a gourmet meal, shaking out their napkins with anticipation, pouring out their mineral water and wine. A kind of frenzied hysteria has come over me. I know I cannot do this, but somehow I can't give up either. I keep thinking a miracle will happen. I'll pull it all together. I'll manage it somehow. Oh gosh, the gravy's bubbling over. I shove the oven door shut, grab a spoon, and start stirring it. It looks like revolting, lumpy brown water. Frantically, I start searching the cupboards for something to chuck in. Flour, cornstarch, something like that. This'll do. I grab a small pot and shake in vigorous amounts of the white powder, then wipe the sweat off my brow. Okay, what now? Suddenly I remember the egg whites still whisking up in their bowl. I grab the recipe book, running my finger down the page. I changed the dessert course to pavlova after I chanced upon the line in a recipe book. Meringues are so easy to make. So far, so good. What next? Form the stiff meringue mixture into a large circle on your baking parchment. I peer at my bowl. Stiff meringue mixture? Mine's liquid. It has to be, right? I tell myself feverishly. It has to be. I follow the instructions. Maybe it's thicker than it looks. Maybe once I start pouring it out, it'll stiffen up by some weird culinary law of physics. Slowly I start to pour it onto the tray. It doesn't stiffen up. It spreads in a white oozing lake and starts dripping off the tray onto the floor. Something tells me this is not going to make white chocolate pavlova for 8. A splodge lands on my foot and I give a frustrated cry near tears. Why didn't it work? I followed the setting recipe and everything. A pent-up rage is rising inside me. Rage at myself, at my defective, crappy egg whites, at cookery books, at cooks, at food, and most of all at whoever wrote that meringues were so easy to make. They're not, I hear myself yelling. They're bloody not. I hurl the book across the kitchen where it smashes against the kitchen door. What the hell? A male voice exclaims in surprise. The door flies open and Nathaniel is standing there, a rucksack hefted over his shoulder. He looks like he's on his way home. Is everything okay? It's fine, I say rattled. Everything's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. I make a dismissive motion with my hand, but he doesn't move. I heard you were cooking a gourmet dinner tonight, he says slowly, surveying the mess. Yes, that's right. I'm just in the most complex stage of the, I glanced down at the hob and gave an involuntary scream. Fuck! The gravy! I don't know what's happened. Brown bubbles are expanding out of my gravy saucepan, all over the cooker and down the sides on the floor. It looks like the porringer in the story of the magic pot that wouldn't stop making porridge. Get it off the heat, for gosh sakes! Exclaims Nathaniel, throwing his rucksack aside. He snatches up the pan and moves it to the counter. What on earth is in that? Nothing, I say. Just the usual ingredients. Nathaniel has noticed the little pot on the counter. He grabs it and takes a pinch between his fingers. Baking soda? You put baking soda in gravy? Is that what they taught you at... He breaks off and sniffs the air. Hang on. Is something burning? I watch helplessly as he opens the bottom oven, grabs an oven glove with a practice air, and hauls out a baking tray covered in what look like tiny black bullets. Oh no, my chickpeas. What are these supposed to be? He says incredulously. Rabbit droppings? They're chickpeas, I retort. My cheeks are flaming, but I lift my chin, trying to gain some kind of dignity. I drizzled them in olive oil and put them in the oven so they could melt. Nathaniel stares at me. Melt? Soften, I amend hurriedly. Nathaniel puts down the tray and folds his arms. Do you know anything about cooking? Before I can answer, there's the most almighty bang from the microwave. Oh my gosh, I shriek in terror. Oh my gosh, what was that? Nathaniel is peering through the glass door. What the hell was in there? He demands. Something's exploded. My mind races frantically. What on earth did I put in the microwave? It's all a blur. The eggs! I suddenly remember. I was hard-boiling the eggs for the canapes. In a microwave? He expostulates. To save time, I practically yell back. I was being efficient. Nathaniel yanks the plug of the microwave from the wall socket and turns around to face me, his face working with disbelief. You know bugger all about cooking. You're not a housekeeper. I don't know what the hell you're up to. I'm not up to anything, I reply in shock. The Geisers are good people. He faces me square on. I won't have them exploited. Oh gosh, what does he think? That I'm some kind of confidence trickster? Look, please, I rub my sweaty face. I'm not trying to rip anyone off. Okay, I can't cook. But I ended up here because of a misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? I sink down onto a chair and massage my aching lower back. I hadn't realized how exhausted I was. I was running away from something. I needed a place to stay for the night. I stopped here for some water and directions to a hotel, and the guys assumed I was a housekeeper. And then this morning I felt terrible. I thought I'd do the job for the morning, but I'm not planning to stay, and I won't take any money from them if that's what you're thinking. Nathaniel is leaning against the counter, his arms folded. His wary frown has eased a little. He reaches into his rucksack and takes out a bottle of beer. He offers it to me and I shake my head. What were you running from? He says, cracking the bottle open. I feel a painful wrench inside. I cannot face telling the whole dreadful story. It was a situation. I look down. He takes a drink of beer. A bad relationship? For a moment, I'm silenced. I think back over all my years at Carter Spink, all the hours I gave them, everything I sacrificed, finished in a 3-minute phone call. Yes, I say slowly, a bad relationship. How long were you in it? 7 years. To my horror, I can feel tears seeping out of the corners of my eyes. I have no idea where they came from. I'm sorry, I gulp. It's been quite a stressful day. Nathaniel tears off a piece of kitchen towel from the wall-mounted roll behind him and hands it to me. If it was a bad relationship, you're well out of it, he says in calm tones. No point staying, no point looking back. You're right, I wipe my eyes. Yes, I just have to decide what to do with my life. I can't stay here. I reached for the bottle of Cointreau, which was supposed to go in the chocolate orange souffle. Pour some into a handy egg cup and take a gulp. The Geisers are good employers, says Nathaniel with a tiny shrug. You could do worse. Yeah, I raise a half smile. Unfortunately, I can't cook. He puts his bottle of beer down and wipes his mouth. His hands look scrubbed clean, but I can still see the traces of earth ingrained around his nails and the seams of his weather-beaten skin. I could speak to my mom. She can cook. She could teach you the basics. I look at him in astonishment, almost laughing. You think I should stay? I thought I was supposed to be a confidence trickster. I shake my head, wincing at the taste of the Cointreau. I have to go. Shame, he shrugs. It would have been nice to have someone around who speaks English. It makes such great sandwiches. He adds, totally deadpan. I can't help smiling back. Caterers. I wondered. A faint rapping at the door makes us both look up. Samantha? Trisha's voice outside is hushed and urgent. Can you hear me? Yes? Don't worry, I won't come in. I don't want to disturb anything. You're probably at a very crucial stage. Kind of. I catch Nathaniel's eye and a sudden wave of hysteria rises through me. I just wanted to ask, Trisha's voice continues, if you will be serving any kind of sorbet between the courses. I look at Nathaniel. His shoulders are shaking with silent laughter. I can't stop a tiny snort escaping. I clamp my hand over my mouth, trying to get control of myself. Samantha? No, I manage at last. There won't be any sorbet. Nathaniel has picked up one of my pans of burned onions. He mimes taking a spoonful and eating it. Yummy, he mouths. Well, see you later. Trish tip-taps away and I collapse into helpless laughter. I've never laughed so hard in my life. My ribs hurt. I'm coughing. I almost feel like I'll be sick. At last, I wipe my eyes and blow my runny nose on the kitchen towel. Nathaniel stopped laughing too and is looking around the bombshelled kitchen. Seriously, he says, what are you going to do about this? They're expecting a fancy dinner. I know they are. I'll just have to think of something. There's silence in the kitchen. Nathaniel is curiously eyeing the white splotches of meringue on the floor. I cast my mind back to all the times I've had to go into a room at Carter Spink and bluff my way out of a tricky spot. There has to be a way. Okay, I take a deep breath and push back my damp hair. I'm going to rescue the situation. You're going to rescue the situation? He looks skeptical. In fact, I think this might solve everyone's problems. I get to my feet and start busily sweeping packets into the bin. First, I need to clear up the kitchen a bit. I'll help. Nathaniel stands up. This I have to see. Companionably, we empty pans and pots and packets into the bin. I scrub all the smeared surfaces while Nathaniel mops up the meringue. How long have you worked here? I ask as he rinses out the mop in the sink. 3 years. I work for the people who lived here before the Geisers, the Ellises. Then Trish and Eddie moved in 2 years ago and kept me on. I digest this. Why did the Ellises move? It's such a beautiful house. The Geisers made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Nathaniel's mouth is twitching with amusement. What? I say, intrigued. What happened? Well, he puts the mop down. It was fairly comical. The house was used as a location in a BBC period drama, all set in the Cotswolds. 2 weeks after it was aired, Trish and Eddie arrived on the doorstep waving a check. They'd seen it on television, decided they wanted it, and tracked it down. Wow, I laugh. Presumably they paid a good price. Gosh knows what they paid. The Alices would never say. Do you know how the Geisers made all their money? They built up a road haulage company from nothing and sold it off, made a bundle. He starts mopping up the final patch of meringue. And how about you, before the Alices? I tipped the congealed apricots down the waste disposal with a shudder. I was working at Marchant House. Nathaniel replies, it's a stately home near Oxford. Before that, university. University, I say, my ears pricking up. I didn't know. I halt, reddening. I was about to say I didn't know gardeners went to university. I did natural sciences. Nathaniel gives me a look that makes me think he knew exactly what I was thinking. I open my mouth to ask him where and when he was at university. Then, on second thought, close it and switch the waste disposal on. I don't want to start getting into details going down the do we know anyone in common road. Right now, I could do without remembering the particulars of my life. At last, the kitchen looks a bit more normal. I pick up the egg cup, drain the rest of the Cointreau, and take a deep breath. Okay, showtime. Good luck. Nathaniel raises his eyebrows. I open the kitchen door to see Trish and Eddie loitering in the hall, holding their sherry glasses. Ah, Samantha, everything ready? Trish's face is all lit up with anticipation, and I feel a huge twinge of guilt for what I'm about to do. But I can't see any other way. I take a deep breath and put on my best Breaking Bad news to a client face. Mr. and Mrs. Geiger. I look from one face to the other, making sure I have their attention. I am devastated. I close my eyes and shake my head. Devastated? Echoes Trish nervously. I have done my best. I open my eyes, but I'm afraid I cannot work with your equipment. The dinner I created was not up to my own professional standards. I could not allow it out of the kitchen. I will, of course, reimburse all your costs and offer my resignation. I will leave in the morning. There, done, and no casualties. I can't help glancing at Nathaniel standing in the doorway of the kitchen. He gives me the thumbs up. Leave? Trish puts her sherry glass down on a side table with a little crash. You can't leave. You're the best housekeeper we've ever had. Eddie, do something. Mrs. Geiger, after tonight's performance, I feel I have no choice, I say. To be frank, the dinner was inedible. That wasn't your fault, she says in consternation. It was our fault. We'll order you new equipment at once. But just give us a list of what you need, spare no expense, and we'll give you a pay rise. She's suddenly gripped by a new idea. How much do you want? Name your price. This is not going the way I planned, not at all. Well, we never discussed pay, I begin. And really I can't accept. Eddie? Trish rounds on him savagely. This is your fault. Samantha's leaving because you're not paying her enough. Mrs. Geiger, that's not the case. And she needs new kitchen pots and pans from the best place. She digs Eddie in the ribs with her elbow and mutters, say something. Samantha. Eddie clears his throat awkwardly. We'd be very happy if you would consider staying with us. We've been delighted with your performance, and whatever your salary expectations are, we'll match them. Trish digs him in the ribs again. Exceed them. And healthcare, adds Trish. They're both gazing at me with a kind of eager hope. I glance over at Nathaniel, who cocks his head as though to say, why not? The strangest feeling is coming over me. 3 people, all telling me they want me within the space of 10 minutes. I could stay. It's as simple as that. For however long it takes to work myself out. I'm miles away from London. No one knows I'm here. I'll be safe. I can't cook. A little voice reminds me I can't clean. I'm not a housekeeper. But I could learn. I could learn it all. The silence is growing in tension. Even Nathaniel is watching me closely from the door. Well, okay. I feel a smile coming to my lips. Okay. If you want me to, I'll stay. Later that night, after we've all eaten a Chinese takeaway, I take out my mobile phone, call my mother's office, and wait till I'm put through to voicemail. It's all right, Mom. I say you don't need to call in any favors. I've got a job. And I click the mobile shut.